Hello and welcome. This is Faceless Opinion, and I'm feeling rather Uce right now. Welcome you back to another video. The road to WrestleMania has begun, and there's a lot of buzz surrounding what matches we might end up getting this year. Though with how the Royal Rumble played out, we know in which direction where things are going to be heading. With Cody Rhodes making his return and winning the whole thing, he will challenge Roman Reigns for the Undisputed title at the main event of WrestleMania, and might possibly be the one to take the belt off of Roman, ending his over 2-year title reign. However, there is a call from some fans out there who believe that the one who should defeat Roman for the championship should not be Cody Rhodes, but instead that the honor should go to Sami Zayn. Mainly due to all the work that he has put into the Bloodline story and the role he has had as the Honorary Uce for the past several months. And with what happened at the Royal Rumble, it is clear that we're going to get a Sami Roman program at the Elimination Chamber, which makes sense since it will be in Sami's hometown of Montreal. But people want to see Sami fight Roman at Mania, to be added to the main event, as many believe that he is worthy and that this is his time. Now, many of you have read the title of this video, but before we can answer the question of should Sami Zayn dethrone Roman Reigns, we need to establish the context of how did we even get to this point. Now, Sami's inclusion into the Bloodline began when he started schmoozing up to the head of the table in an attempt to gain some type of favor. This would eventually translate into Sami being more involved with the dynamic of the group, which would earn him the moniker of the Honorary Uce. And honestly, him joining the group was one of the best decisions made, as he made the group a lot more tolerable, let's say, as during this point, Roman had just unified the WWE and Universal Championship into the Undisputed title, as well as became a part-time champion, and his appearances became less frequent. The Usos had also unified both the Raw and SmackDown tag team titles as well, meaning that the Bloodline was everywhere, and this would end up leading to fatigue for the group, since many fans would get tired of seeing them win all the time or them cutting the same old promos week after week. It was getting exhausted to see the same thing, and when you add Sami to the mix, it basically served as an adrenaline shot to a stagnating storyline, as it was quite interesting to see what Sami was willing to go through for the Bloodline, such as him giving a helping hand during matches, sacrificing himself to protect them, him having his altercations with Jey Uso, and many of the segments that he was involved with. The most iconic of which had to be the Feeling Uce segment. That caused the entire Bloodline to break kayfabe because they could not hold back their laughter, leading to the crowd from that point moving forward to also chant and cheer for the Honorary Uce. So much so that people started calling him Sami Uso. His rise and proper acceptance into the group would happen at Survivor Series War Games, where he helped the Bloodline win the match and would even earn the admiration and respect of his biggest critic, Jey Uso. Though things would change for Sami when his longtime friend and longtime enemy, Kevin Owens, reignited his feud with the Bloodline, which would ultimately come to an end at the Royal Rumble with Roman KOing KO and having the entire Bloodline beat down on him. Sami feeling conflicted about partaking in the brutality towards his frenemy, but when Roman pushed Sami, this would lead to Sami smacking the tribal chief in the back with a steel chair, leading to the crowd going crazy and Sami getting beaten down by the group he went out of his way for, which leads to us right now. Sami Zayn is over right now. He has the crowd support, which will give him a lot of momentum heading into the Elimination Chamber. Though let's make one thing perfectly clear. Sami is not going to defeat Roman at the Chamber. To quote Paul Heyman, "That's not a prediction, that is a spoiler." You really think that they would have Roman drop the belts with WrestleMania being the next PLE afterwards? Besides, as much as Sami is popular right now, he has not been built up as a credible opponent who could legitimately defeat Roman. I mean, when was the last time he won a match clean, where there wasn't any type of interference or shenanigans whatsoever? So, no, I do not believe that is going to happen. If anything, at the Chamber, Jey Uso will probably get involved in some capacity, costing Sami, leading to a tag team championship match between the Usos and Sami and KO at WrestleMania, where the two of them will end the Usos' tag reign, which would lead to a rather anticlimactic end to Sami's story with the Bloodline, to be honest. Though, with all of that said, I do see the argument on why people want it to be Sami. With all the hard work he has put in the past few months, you can honestly say that this is the highest point in his career. and this could slingshot him into the main event picture. However, I don't believe he should be shoehorned into the main event of WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes won the Rumble and deserved his opportunity at Roman. Not to say that Sami doesn't deserve it either. From a storytelling point of view, Sami has a very strong case of being the man to dethrone the tribal chief. Honestly, I feel like if there was more time before WrestleMania, they could have built Sami up more if that was the direction they were originally heading for. Which they weren't. It was always going to end up being Roman versus The Rock or Roman versus Cody. The only way I could see Sami possibly getting a proper moment in which he could face Roman at a big PLE would only be if Cody ends up losing his match with Roman. Sami and KO beat the Usos for the tag titles, leading to Roman going after those two. Maybe he takes out KO so bad that they have to vacate the titles, leading to Sami and Roman having their final showdown at, I don't know, SummerSlam or something. Or maybe Sami wins the Money in the Bank briefcase, leading to another encounter between the two. Those are possible ideas if we're really set on having Sami versus Roman being the end game for Roman's title reign. Honestly, WWE never should have had Roman unify both world titles. It has only caused more problems. I mean, they had a solution to try and split them up with the use of the Money in the Bank briefcase that Austin Theory was carrying around, but they wasted that, meaning we're stuck in this situation in which we only have one world champion for 2 shows, and said champion makes sporadic appearances on one and hardly appears on the other. Now, to answer the question from earlier, should Sami Zayn dethrone Roman Reigns? I believe he deserves it with the amount of work he's put into the Bloodline story and him being able to get himself over with the crowd. I also believe that Cody Rhodes deserves it, with that showing he had at Hell in a Cell and the amount of hype involving his return. I also believe Drew McIntyre deserves it, since I still think he should get his crowning moment in front of a crowd, which was taken away from him because of the pandemic. I also believe Seth Rollins deserves it, since he's so popular right now. I mean, listen to the crowd sing his song. You can make a good enough argument for anybody, though we will never know who that man will be to usurp the head of the table, not until we hear that 3 count, the bell rings, and the announcer says, "And new Undisputed Champion." Until then, we can only wait. Though, if I was a betting man, I think Roman is going to go over 1,000 days as champ, but that is just me. Now tell me, what do you think? Who do you think should beat Roman for the title? Are you excited for this year's WrestleMania? Should Sami be added into the main event? Tell me in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe. Until next time, I will catch you all on the flip side.